set to get underway here. Game 4 matching the Vancouver Canucks against the Minnesota Wild.
I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't, think about it like every other hockey player does. When you think about that goal, you always think about it being a big goal, meaning something.
Final minute of the second period. Nico Sturm up the wing for Minnesota.
He had a ton of speed, and I think he caught two guys kind of flat-footed on the blue line. I didn't shoot to score right there. I just wanted to generate a rebound of the pad.
Here comes Minnesota trying for a late bid. They take a shot, they score!
Yeah, baby! First career goal for Nico Sturm, and Minnesota's back in front 4-3.
In playoffs, I really felt like not only can I play at that level, but I'm not just a participant. I feel like I can impact the game with the qualities that I bring to the table. All I can do is give myself the best chance to be a full-time NHL player, and I think I'm on the right path for that.
Select.
Normal summer I would have loved taking me back home to Germany, but because of the situation right now, that's hard. So we drove about an hour and a half south of the Twin Cities to get a little taste of home here in New Ulm. And yeah, let's go check out some food. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
We're excited checking out some German food. The German sampler seems pretty interesting. It's kind of got a little bit of everything, but I will go with the schnitzel and potato salad. The potato salad got to be done right if it's authentic, and that's hard to do. My grandma does it really good, so. I'm gonna do Wiener Schnitzel.
Real?
Yeah.
You get a side there with either spetzels, German or French fries.
Spetzels.
Spetzels?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm pumped. Yeah.
Salads.
Thank you. Americans, like wherever you go, really, you always have burgers, or pizza is a big thing here too. And back home, it's probably a little more just home style. I played in my hometown. I'm probably 15 minutes away from my home until I was 14. I think I had a ton of talent as a really, really young kid. I think, when you talk in age 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's just pure talent. As you get older and people started hitting puberty when they were 13, 14, and I kind of got left behind in that sense. I started getting cut from teams or not get any ice time, and I was not really having fun anymore. Once I turned 17, 18, and that growth started to kick in. Along with that growth, I started to develop just that desire to get better. You realize what's important in life, and for me that was school and hockey. And that's kind of 17, 18 when I kind of formed my plans of playing college hockey.
He wrote basically two-page email. It was not an email, but it was lengthy, to almost all the NCAA teams in perfect English, right? He wasn't even a national team player at the time, but he just kept on plugging away, doing his thing.
So at that point, I'm not thinking about the NHL or anything like that. I'm just thinking about getting my schoolwork done and maybe being able to continue to play hockey. And then he kind of explained this to me and goes, You're not going to be able to just jump in there. You're going to have to play junior hockey. And so my first opportunity to play juniors was in the North American League down in Texas. I remember landing in Corpus Christi. I had a long travel day, and I just grabbed my hockey bag and my suitcase, and I walked out of the airport, and there was just nobody there. It's just GM kind of was supposed to pick me up, and I think he forgot. He showed up 45 minutes late, and that was kind of my first couple of hours in the U.S. That looks like home. We'll be busy here for a while. If I go eat back home in Germany, even just my grandma's house, I'll eat a lot more than probably what I want to eat. Yeah, it's just good food. So I got the Wiener Schnitzel, which is basically pork. We got the Spätzle, which is kind of, it's not pasta, but it's probably the closest thing it'll come to. And then we kind of got the cabbage here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this just tastes like home, so this is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, couldn't tell that much of a difference, to be honest. So I think it's pretty good. I'm excited to, I'm gonna finish the plate for sure. That's a given here. All right, so I think we fueled up pretty good, and now we're gonna see what else this little town has to offer and check out some places. Hey, how you doing?
Great, I'm Terry Sweeney.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a tour guide in New Ulm, and I've got some gifts for you.
Perfect, check it out.
Literature, things to read, and ta-da!
There you go, a little piece of home and the U.S., New Ulm.
Well, we're gonna show you some sights around New Ulm.
Perfect, thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
I think you'll like our little town.
Quite the man. They put a lot of work into this. I mean, this is, it's something.
According to the federal census, New Ulm is the most German city in the United States per capita.
The size of this town kind of reminds me a little bit of Austin, to be honest. Off I went to Austin. Going there to start of the year, that was the first time when I knew I'm gonna be away from home for 8-9 months. And I struggled quite a bit actually the first couple of months of the season.
The coach there is Chris Tuck. He goes, I don't know. He's I got him on the third line. This is the North American Hockey League we're talking about. And he's like, I don't know, Jay, if he's gonna crack it.
Nothing was happening. He was just another guy that was there on the ice, and he wasn't separating himself, wasn't doing anything, and then you're only allowed a few of them, so you don't want your imports to be your bottom half of your lineup. That's where Nico was when he first started out.
And 2 weeks later, Chris called me back. He goes, boy, he just figured it out.
I'm not sure what actually clicked in Nico, but he definitely turned the corner and it was noticeable.
All of a sudden I felt comfortable off the ice too, and I've always been a person that needs to feel like they belong and feel like they're home somewhere in order for me to fully achieve my potential and translate everything on the ice.
Even though he was over here the year before a little bit, I don't think he was ever like that go-to guy or leaned on or expected to contribute more than what he was. And I think we made our goal for him pretty clear. He knew what he needed to do to achieve that, and he did it.
The coaching staff that year, they unlocked so much that I didn't even know I had in terms of doing things the right way and doing things 100% all the time. And we had a crazy playoff run all the way to the finals. And we didn't end up winning the finals, but that year was a kick-starter for sure for me.
Now we're going to go to a brand new ice cream shop. We just had a big lunch, so now you need dessert, right?
We do have a couple things you might recognize on our menu. We've got spaghetti ice
Nice.
and German ice cafes.
It's pretty rich. Kind of go through the grinder Monday through Friday. And Saturday mornings, usually after my workout, I'm ready to head into the weekend and maybe eat a couple things that you maybe wouldn't eat during the season. So this is good. So we got some dessert, and before we head back to the Twin Cities, we got a famous person to meet, Herman the German.
So Nico, this is the Herman Monument. Herman was a real man that in the year 9 AD united the German tribes to keep the Romans out of Germany. It's 102 feet to the tip of his sword from the ground.
I gotta climb through there? Oh.
You see how New Ulm is a long, narrow town, about 5 miles long and only about 2 miles wide.
How old is this building?
This was built in 1889.
I mean, 1889 safety standards probably a little different than today, I'm assuming. So I wouldn't want to be the guy who has to bring up the sword.
I hope you love New Ulm as much as we do, and I'm glad that you guys were able to come down.
Perfect. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Vielen Dank.
Dankeschön.
Hockey-wise, Clarkson just gave me the opportunity to step in the lineup right away and play every game.
Nico Sturm, met by Ferner, walks around him, all the way to the net, he scores! Nico Sturm! It's going to be an even strength goal for Clarkson.
Instead of going to a big school where maybe you don't get to play as much, I got all the ice time I needed to develop.
Turnover behind the net. Eagle out in front, and a quick shot, they score! Nico Sturm.
That first year, because he got the opportunity to play a lot, really helped propel him in his second year, and in his third year, he was as good a player as we saw anywhere in the country.
Sturm swoops wide on the right side, top of the circle, slowly into the backhand score! Nico Sturm!
We won the ECAC.
Number one, baby, number one!
Went on to the NCAA tournament, and it was the first round of the NCAA tournament, and we played in Notre Dame halfway through the third period. I came in and I hit a guy. Didn't really hit him. I still say it's a question. Everybody says it's a questionable call, but
he's not a highly penalized player at all. I just gave a little shove from behind. I think the kid sold it. So it was the first time all year he wasn't available for us to keep our lead late in the game, and we lost in overtime after that. I think we would have won with him in the game.
They got him on their heels. Score!
I was pretty emotional. I knew that was probably my last season there, and so I unfortunately had to watch our team lose that game in overtime. So there were a couple of tears after that for sure. But in hindsight, our class has achieved so much. Our class really, I would say, turned that program around quite a bit. We really created like a new Clarkson identity. Every kid has a dream of playing in the NHL, but for it to be a realistic goal, that's kind of what happened there. Is for me to see, hey, there's still a long ways to go, obviously, to become an NHL player, but it's achievable. I signed on Monday, and then my game was on Thursday. It's probably good that it's so quick, because obviously there's 1,000 things going through your head.
The NHL debut for newly signed Nico Sturm.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see. We actually got to see a solo lap.
I think the first game, I don't know how others feel about it, but for me it was just to keep things extremely simple and maybe not get scored on your first shift. That'd be nice.
Players are rotating through that college route. And of course, the Wild just signed one.
My family was here. It was great. I called him. I was like, hey, you guys gotta be here tomorrow. I might play. So I kind of had to hustle over here.
His family attending his very first game, which is always special.
It's always great to have the people that are closest to you have them experience those kind of things with you, because you can't do all this alone. And not only can you not do it alone, it's so much more fun sharing it with your brothers, who you played with them growing up, your parents who've invested all that time. And I always needed that support cast to translate my game onto the ice and to be able to share all this kind of stuff with those people.
Shot score!
Seeing the joy in their faces too, I think that makes it great too, and that too is great motivation for, you know, the dog days of the season or the summer.
That's this one. Oh, nice. That's a good one.
So we're going to get started here with the Q&A, okay? I know you guys got lots of questions.
Did you come here in like a limo or a Lamborghini or something?
No, I'm a pretty standard guy. I have to talk to Billy. He's got to give me a couple more contracts for me to afford a car like that.
What was your favorite goal during the playoffs this year?
I mean, we had a couple of big goals that we scored as a team. The first 2 games I didn't get to play. Obviously, for me personally, I got to score my first goal, so that was pretty. That was pretty cool. This is old school. This is that kind of dress and drive what you did as a little kid, right? So we'll do an hour power skating with Katie. If I get lucky, I get to touch some pucks. Usually David Backus is out there with me, but I think he's at a wedding this weekend. So I think it might just be 2-on-1 coaching today, which means I'm not gonna get away with very much. We'll throw on the rest inside. Probably should grab a stick. Don't really need a stick, that's a sad reality today. The whole purpose of the next hour will be for her to kind of just correct my skating mistakes. So let's get after it.
You're trying to do everything all at the same time.
Yeah.
Instead of making sure I'm seeing where I'm going and then I'm finishing that move.
Yeah, sounds good. The leg doesn't kick out as weird.
You're actually getting force from your push.
Yeah.
Every time you go from that push, more you just slowly your force back.
So after the push, don't glide and then take the... Step to the step.
Step down. Now we just have to fix what's happening with our stick. That should already be turned in front.
I think I could stay lower instead of, you know how I come up right almost?
Yep. You're figuring it out.
So when I'm over here, not switch the sticks, just keep it straight center. Okay.
You turned up top. That was the smoothest it's been. That was good.
It's always tough in the mornings, especially in the summer, but I think the stuff, the small things that Katie corrects me on, it's helpful. It always feels good when you're done with it. Now I just gotta get through my workout.
I always like to tell other college kids, when you come to your first main camp and you realize how many players are there and how many good players are there, and you look at the fact that there's maybe 1 or 2 roster spots available, that's when you first realize how tough it is to become a full-time NHL player and to establish yourself. There's a ton of players in the AHL that can play, in the NHL too, but there's only so many spots, and when you first come to main camp, that's when you realize, man, I still got a long ways to go.
I think for a lot of first-year professionals, that's something they have to get used to. I don't think Nico is any different than a lot of other players when they turn pro after successful junior or college careers, and they expect to really make an impact with the NHL club, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Give myself a good chance to make the team. One of the last guys to be cut, so that any player gets cut from that late from camp will tell you it's a bummer. The first day or 2 in Iowa, I wasn't like, oh yeah, great, I'm down here in Iowa.
But when he got to Iowa, it wasn't like he was better than anyone else or thought he was too good for the league. He put his nose down and kept working hard just like he always does.
Nico Sturm, he's got a step left side, carving in, he scores!
When you're in the American League, you never know. Things happen so fast in both leagues, so you just got to keep working hard, and he definitely did that.
Spinning and shooting one from the right side, Sturm scores! Nico Sturm batted that puck out of midair!
I have tons of respect for all the guys that make it to the NHL coming out of that league, because it's a grind.
Back in come the Wild with Sturm. He stepped in and scores!
That's a huge part of the process in the American Hockey League, and that it is such a good league that there are going to be lows even for the best players in the entire league, whether they're veterans or first or second year players, in that it is a challenge, and there's players on every single team that probably have a real legitimate case to be in the National Hockey League at that time.
The guy's 100% hockey. Hockey all the time's on his mind, and it's gotten him to where he is and where he will continue to go to.
Obviously, it starts with his work ethic. First person at the rink every day, last person to leave. And he takes great pride in being good at all areas of the game, which of course, as a coach, you want that out of all your players.
There's always little things that you can work on, and I'd be lying if that wasn't the big goal now to be nowhere but here.